What up, Famalam?
Hey, yeah. George.
Ah, hi. Harold, there you go. You can have Harold
Harrison.
for now. Oh, Jaws and Legday here. Thank you very much, Sam. But we're going to go into CIS Hope versus Mosaic. Like Tridd adequately put it, Mosaic looking like a brand new team. They've picked up the Danish trio. So 3 whole spaces of their roster has been switched up. Means they haven't had a lot of time to practice together. Versus CIS Hope, a very well-oiled machine. This is going to play all too much in favor of that.
However, CIS Hope are about to enter their most difficult match of Contenders, possibly ever, because Dezachu has predicted that they will win. And that's about as hard as it gets. But as we move into Sanctum here, it looks like Mosaic eSports going to come out with something a little bit different. I don't know if Kodak's going to be staying on that. Unlikely. They're just hovering in the spawn room, having a little bit of fun with our wonderful Bastion friend. However, on the side of CIS Hope, looks like what they've got is here to stay. Kenzie and Unfixed coming in on the double hit scan. Kenzie picking up a Tracer. And Unfixed going to be he's going to be the king of the pit. He's going to be firing across it with that soldier. It's a perfect range for a soldier. No damage drop off to be suffered as you lay down the heavy pulse rifle bullets with impunity. The question is, will Mosaic eSports be able to get through the poke damage and get onto Unfixed?
Yeah, Unfixed has had a couple of up and down moments during the last couple of weeks, but coming up against a team that you could say is a little bit less organized, a little bit more disorganized because of their whole roster swap up. So CIS Hope, it kind of plays into their wheelhouse of being playing very reactively. They are going to jump straight onto the back line though. That Bionic Field doing so much work. Spox is going extremely low. Christopher suffers the cruelest of fates, ends up going down, and Kenzie is going to strike back as well. Kodak falls. Spox is playing the point for the time being, but the rest of his roster has just fallen by the wayside. Even a DMET going on to Danny sacrifices himself to the pit gods, and that will be CIS Hope winning the first fight, and they're going to secure the point as well.
I put that one down to impatience and poor discipline. On their engagement there, Christopher lost half his health from both main and Unfixed, filling him full of orbs of destruction and pulse rifle bullets before he even managed to get his leap off. And then he took his second leap with a Discord orb on him with about 200 health, and he was quickly destroyed. And then the rest of Mosaic eSports were without their main tank, but now they're going to go in. He's got full health.
Hey, it might work the second time. Main's already going to go down. Fisher does claim the kill. Christopher doing a good job staying alive for the time being. Pulse Combat ends up missing. Chow self-destruct, but the entirety of Mosaic eSports does retreat around the corner, and our Coalescence will be there to back them up and heal them as much as they can. Big pick onto Christopher, but we are going to see a small disconnect on the side of CIS Hope. That is a beautiful sound of a pulse rifle in the background there.
Wonderful sounds, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for saving our race map. But it doesn't like Main was the one who disconnected. May explain why he didn't have the greatest response to that dive. Looked like he was AFK, but obviously he was disconnected.
I don't think he was AFK in that particular, because he got pushed back pretty far. That dive was just worked out so much better for them. Christopher wasn't half HP when he actually landed on the Winston and bubbled at the right time as well. The first up push, looked a bit wavy, but now they're fighting back. But the problem is now Main is actually going to be resetting the spawn, and him coming back like that will set his ult charge to 0-2. So it's a small loss for Hope, but we'll have to wait and see how they recover.
Indeed, we'll have to see if they can retain Hope. But it's not a great thing to talk about, disconnections, but it is a concrete reality. You've got to make sure that your team resetting their mentality, but they're not really affected by the sort of disconnects. Because when you're taken out by powers that are beyond your control, it can be a lot more tilting than if you're like, okay, they outplayed us. And looks like we are going to be getting back into game now. Main has reconnected, and Danny's fallen down the hole.
Reconnected and rejoined, and that'll be should be quite an easy cleanup. Sharek's going to find Spoxes, although Fisher kind of wants something on the point, but yeah, it's going to get reset. It probably worth actually jumping off the point at that point, because Kenzie has just got a bit of extra free ult charge. Unfixed popped the tactical visor there as well, so there was really nowhere for Mosaic to actually hide.
Yeah, that was great play from CIS Hope. They invested 4 ultimates there, because they're like, okay, Main may be down, but we can still win out this fight. We're in a position where we can take advantage of it, but now Spox is coming in with a blade.
Oh my god, that is a very, very instantaneous blade. Peek through the door, already popped it, got booed back, and he didn't really find anybody. They are going to get the D-Meg. That was the only damage he got to lay down, but apparently it was enough. Fisher is going to be able to take out Chow in the mech and the Winston as well. Uh-oh, Unfixed, not where you want to be, buddy. Spox just gives him a swipe, although Main gets his revenge. Does find a headshot, but that will be Mosaic eSports reclaiming the point.
I would like to point out that Eng had a fantastic use of speed boost there to make sure that the entire squishy line of himself, Main and Unfixed could back away very effectively from Spoxes as he came in with that blade. However, it was Fisher eventually was like, okay, you can invest your blade and I'll just show you how the pulse pistols do.
Big Coalescence. The problem with this map is that it does land on so many people. A nice little 180 from Kenzie doesn't quite land the stick, and he is in no man's land right now. Chow goes down to Kodak's Coalescence in the end. Kenzie is trying to disengage from Christopher, or force Christopher to disengage himself. He's now going to be on the flank, but the problem is the fight is not going in their favor because that time is still ticking up. They're on about 40% right now, and the CIS Hope only have 70 to really work with. And Spoxes, he's nearing another blade.
And you can see how the difference in approaches occurs when Unfix doesn't have the Tactical Visor.
Tactical Visor and main laying down of that Transcendence as well to keep alive. There will be a sound barrier in response from Mosaic. They are just huddled up in this corner. Christopher, wrong place, wrong time, got caught without a jump, without a hope. And now Spoxes trying to play the point, make sure he can just get as much time as they possibly can because their team is quickly getting routed, although I say that as Fisher takes out Chow in the end. Although a very interesting maneuver from Tifa there. She does end up trying to touch the point in the last couple of seconds, but Unfix left completely alone. 70% of the ult charge already. No one's touching him.
Danny very forcefully evicted there with the Simian slap coming through from Sharek. However, we can see here, CIS Hope and Mosaic eSports, due to the differences in their comps, they have very different approaches to how they hold Mosaic eSports. They're all about holding very close towards the choke, whereas CIS Hope, they hold it across for Sanctum. They make sure that Unfixed is always taking some investment of movement cooldowns to get up on. And there they are.
Fisher's going to start up the point capture. Sound barrier comes through from CIS Hope in response to that Coalescence. They're not moving forward just yet. Spoxes unleashes the blade once again and finds Chow's mech, so that could be quite pinnacle. It won them the fight last time around, but Unfixed, with his third Tactical Visor in a row, 3 for 3, is going to get beaten up a little bit as some of it is deflected straight back at him, but the damage might have already been done. Spox is forced to dash, gets instantly pulse bomb, and a Transcendence coming through from main is going to keep the rest of his team live on the point. Self-destruct doesn't quite find anybody, and actually Danny is going to get a big remech there. Could be the saving graces for them. Overtime ticking through, 99% on the clock. Unfixed still left completely alone to just pummel the tank line. Christopher's going to fall, and Fisher only last hope for Mosaic. Overtime ticks through, and Sanctum will go to CIS Hope.
Fisher had the room that he needed there to try and get in onto Unfixed and main, though of course because they had managed to be so disciplined with their objectives and made sure that it wasn't flipped in favor of Mosaic, he had to get back onto the point and he had to forgo that advantage for jump that he had on main in order to keep overtime in session. Unfortunately, it was not enough. It eventually fell by the wayside, and now CIS Hope sitting on the edge of claiming the pull.
Well, Mosaic now, what they do best is these tankier compositions, and 10 seconds remaining, and I hate talking about hovers because they do always change, but Christopher is a very good Reinhardt player. In fact, he's been able to take, well, I can imagine he could 1v1 H Cloudy any day of the week, and it's one of the heroes he's more competent with, and I think running this tankier composition, sitting on the point and letting Spoxes and giving him the space to actually lay down a lot of damage on this Junkrat might just win it out for them.
Although it is worth noting that Christopher has lost his trusty off-tank in recent days. That may well mean that the synergy isn't quite as good here. But of course, they've also got to worry about Unfixed. Coming in on the Reaper, who's got a lot of juicy targets in front of him. Christopher's shield isn't going to be lasting for long versus those Hellfire shotguns, and there it goes.
I don't know what happened to Christopher there. He got booped over, I think. I'm not quite sure how. Maybe it was Chow. But he's just laying down the lead. He's going to jump into that Wraith form to avoid a little bit of that damage, but already a tower from Spoxes is actually going to get killed by Unfix himself. Kenzie finds the hook and the line and the sinker on Spoxes. So that is one big DPS threat down for Mosaic. Beat has been dropped. They still got the point, remember, so they're still building up a lot of time.
Unfix is very scared to get in here. He's being warded away by Danny, but now Danny's going in deep and he's got his eyes on the
shatter. Big on Unfix, but the Graviton Surge, which was even bigger. A counter Graviton Surge from the other team. Unfix hasn't got really much else to follow this up with. Death Blossom not quite available to him. He needs to find something in the back line. The shatter comes down from CIS Hope. Doesn't quite get anybody, but in fact, the Death Blossom does. Danny gets demeched, and Sharek follows that up with a quadruple kill on the Reinhardt. Sharek shows Christopher how it's done. Spox is a little bit late to the point, just gets one tapped by Unfix.
Man loves to swing for fences, but of course, when it comes to these triple tank compositions, there's just so much beef to get through. And 33 seconds, Mosaic eSports managed to win. Well, they managed to stay in there in a losing fight. Both of the Zaryas threw in their Graviton Surges, but Fisher's got a significant advantage on his charge, as does Christopher. Spox almost has that Riptire as well, and we've seen just how fast he's get charged.
Kodak's got Coalescence now, and this is what they've been using time and time again to actually make these pushes work. They use this first and then push forward. Junkrat is going to open up the field, and there is Kodak's with his Coalescence. Spox' Ty gets killed yet again. Perfectly timed flame strike from Shag. Picks him up. Big hook onto Christopher. Christopher, he goes extremely low, and the Shadow as well is going to land, but Christopher ends up blocking it up. Fisher finds the kill onto Sharek, a self-destruct Diva Bomb to make sure CIS Hope cannot get on top of them. Big Graviton Surge, Unfix is caught in, but is going to use that Wraith form to go to safety. 66% on the Death Blossom, he's the guy you want to look for, but Fisher apparently is the man of the hour. It's going to take out Unfixed in the end. Christopher's trying to find main. They are going to disengage for the time being. Fisher is so charged right now, there's nothing really they can do about it.
Of course, Fisher did have to invest for Graviton Surge, whereas Chow did not, so that will be what we're looking to in the next fight to try and seal it in the way of CIS Hope. Of course, Kenzie will be able to follow that up with the whole hog, should it be necessary. And of course, you really want to start staggering your Earth Shadow and your Graviton, because Sharek can build up to that Earth Shadow so quickly by just swinging into the Graviton Surge that Chow lays down. But he's got to be very conscious of Danny here. If he can eat the Graviton Surge, that may well be this fight already going for way of Mosaic.
That's a big bit of charge. There's the Graviton Surge right on the Diva's back. She's able to just get free fire and free punches as well. Walk straight into a trap, but it doesn't matter because the Coalescence is there to heal her up. Christopher, you're on the wrong side of the fight, buddy. He manages to find a pin, but Sharek says, not today, my son. With a flame strike to the back, he ends up going down.
However, Mosaic eSports also didn't throw everything into that. Only the Earth Shatter was used in that defense. Now they're coming back in once again with that Riptide. But every time it's been taken out by someone from the side of CIS Hope. Sharek got it with a Flame Strike. And sometimes it came down to Unfixed with Vanilla. But here it comes.
Oh, got trapped in the wall a little bit there. Spoxis comes through with the tie. Can he make it work once again? Sharek's been doing a good job of dissuading it. Does actually force the point being taken and actually damage Sharek enough for them to take him out. Chow is going to fall as well. Unfix is going to get chased up. Has got his own Riptire, and that Shatter is building up as well. This is actually what we see from a lot of Korean teams and Korean contenders here, Legday. CIS Hope, well, before, I mean, when they were running the Reaper, they love running these triple tanks with the Reaper. Just the amount of sheer damage Reaper does in these close quarter situations, and his ability to Wraith form away from danger is also prominent.
Indeed, though the defense measure seems to have proved too much for Unfixed. He's had to move over to the Junkrat. He's already built himself up the Riptire. It's coming in. Down goes the Earth Shadow.
It shatters, but it only finds one.
Oh,
but that throw was big! He needed that. Unfixed finds the triple kill. That is how you use a tire, Spoxes. Chow finds the triple kill at the end. It was a 99%. Overtime was there, but they're going to tick it over to 85.
And now Mosaic eSports, they have one shot, one chance. They've got a Graviton Surge to do it with. And not only that, they have the self-destruct to follow it up. Can they get there?
Here's the replay of Unfix's tie. You can see unavoidable. Bam! Takes 3 out. Easy mode. 2 Graviton Surges laid on top of each other. There's the self-destruct as well. It finds Sharek. He didn't have the shield out in time. Shatter comes through, but it didn't quite hit anybody. The time is still ticking down. We're at 99 versus 99%. Kenzie unlocks the whole hog, and Tao is actually going to get desuited. Still, Danny completely healthy and alive. They have control of the point thus far. Chow is going to get taken out as well. Tire, will it even matter though? They're on the point. They are capping at this time. No contention really. Fisher, they're just staggering them right now. 99% still. The Tire's going to come through. It's going to have to be something special. It takes out Mono and finds the D-suit onto Danny as well. Sharek's made his way back on the point, but the Coalescence just tears him down. No shield, no problem. Overtime ticks through, and they end up taking the second point.
Ooh, clutch there. It turned out that taking out Sharek first, even though Christopher fell afterwards, just sealed the fate of CIS Hope on that point. They just couldn't make another insertion with that great shielding. And when they came in, they took too much damage. They fed quite a bit of ultimate charge doing that. And despite a great showing from Unfixed on the Junkrat with the triple tire, the second one wasn't quite as effective. Too little, too late.
Well, here we go. We're on Village now. What a piece. Very, very close game. And in fact, CIS Hope, I can imagine CIS are going to run the same sort of competition. It's working out actually well for both of these teams. It's turning into a very, very close state of affairs. I wouldn't be too surprised, though, to actually see them maybe pick up a Reaper again. I mentioned it before. Korean contenders teams love running the Reaper on this map. Kenzie's actually on the Junkrat this time around, so they just switch. They've just actually switched a lot of their roles around.
Indeed. Now, Christopher has been booped back into the remainder of his team. He needs to move that shield so that it's going to keep the rest of his team safe. He's back there now, but Sharek's free to swing to the fences.
Christopher still trying to build up his charge for Fisher. Fisher is nearing about 80% charge right now, I can imagine. They are going to make their way to the point. A very, very swift re-entry. Mono is going to be able to speed the rest of the team up, but they're just happy to fight on it. 100% is Fisher. Coalescence comes out first. Sharek just melts in the face of danger. Fisher is now just going to be able to run rampant. 100% charge against anybody is just going to tear them to pieces. He finds himself a 3K, and that'll be Mosaic eSports securing the point to start this off with.
Fisher and Unfixed are on equal ultimate charge. They did about as well as each other. However, the rest of Mosaic eSports could always bring it together. Kodak coming through with early Coalescence. And usually, when it comes to the triple and quadruple tanks, first Coalescence wins. Main's ready to bring his one out. Should it be required in the next fight? And Eng's also almost there with, oh, double tires.
Double tires, which was it? Because it's going to be eSports. This ends up getting destroyed. Not too much damage, but Chow's mech does go down. Kenzie comes in with his and actually gets a kill.
Through the cast.
Mono is going to fall. That is one sound barrier down now. He's going to be paying for that one later. Sharek and Kenzie end up picking off their familiars. Fisher, he has the Graviton. Does he want to commit it now or does he save it? He's going to dive straight onto the point, try and buy a little bit more time for himself, but saving the ultimate for the next fight is going to be what he decides to do.
Unfortunately, Unfixed decided to do the same thing, so it's going to be Graviton versus Graviton here. And both of the Divas ready to follow it up with a self-destruct should it be required. However, when the Diva uses the self-destruct, they are for a moment without their defense matrix. So when those get sent out, you may see the Zayas decide to throw down the Graviton Surges. Going around the back here, they want to get straight on the point.
2 Graviton Surge. I'm not sure if one got eaten. It sounded like it did. There's a big self-destruct, and Chow finds 4 members of Mosaic. What a way to start this round off. 31% and counting as well. Fishers didn't get ultimate. I thought I heard the voice line twice, but that does mean he has it for the next fight.
So that happened because Sharek was very judicial. He managed to get a charge through onto Christopher while Christopher was trying to shield his team in that Graviton. Because he managed to aim that charge perfectly, Christopher's shield was disabled while he was stunned in that charge. But now it's the attempt of Sharek from above!
He got it from above. There's the grab. Triple shatter as well. That is going to be CIS home just getting slaughtered in that by Kodak's Coalescence. They're going to be easily getting on the point now. Mono can just speed everybody up. Mosaic eSports are going to be able to secure the point. This is back and forwards. This is as back and forwards as you can actually get. It's swapping every 20% or so.
Christopher coming out with anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. Alas, now Sharek, he wasn't really happy with that shadow, I imagine, but he made it work in some ways. However, it's back to the grind now. Sharek's going to try and come in. He's got the Moira at his back. That's a lot of biotic grass peeling, but here comes all the explosions.
All the explosions you could ever ask for. Kenzie hunting, searching for his prey. It finds Christopher. He's going to fall. No shield remaining. It will be Fisher and Danny on the point trying to hold face. Still, a D-Mech onto the Diva will stop them for the time being. Chow is going to have to hide behind Sharek for the time. There's the beat, it's going to get dropped, not cancelled out this time around, but Chow still working towards his new mech is going to be also important. Unfixed so fully charged as well. There's the Coalescence coming out from Mosaic. They're going to force everybody away off the point for the time. It is 94%. Someone from CIS Hope needs to be able to touch now. Unfixed, he's found Fisher, but can he actually take him out? He actually gets pushed away at the last second as Fisher is just cutting his entire team apart with the laser. 99%, overtime ticks over, and Mosaic eSports come up with the win on Nepal.
Very close, but it looks like Mosaic eSports have claimed the mantle of Triple Tank to be their own here on Nepal. Imagine they're feeling very happy about that one. Some people may have had doubts about the new roster. Some people may not have thought it was an upgrade. But against CIS Hope here on Nepal, they're showing that they really have the stuff.
And they're showing what they can do against a mirrored comp as well. That's also really important to touch on. I mean, with a new team and with half a new team coming into Mosaic's lineup, you got to put questions on, have they practiced a lot together? Have they, had enough time to build this cohesion? Apparently that's the case, because CIS Hope, they didn't look wavery. It was a very close match, but at the end of it all, it was Fisher that really just stuck a nail in the coffin.
Absolutely. And Christopher, such an experienced Ryan, I imagine he led that triple tank with some fantastic leadership and decision-making skills.
Exactly that. We're going to jump to a quick break. We're going to charge our ults back up again, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. Map number 2 coming up on your screens very, very shortly. CIS Hope versus Mosaic eSports. Mosaic eSports clutching that round right at the very end there on Nepal, managed to take it 2-1.
Absolutely, and they managed to win out on the triple tanks, which I wouldn't have expected to happen given looking at these rosters coming in. I would have thought, okay, CIS Hope, they've been together quite a bit longer. They've got Sharek there on the main tank. He's going up against Christopher, who's a very impressive main tank in his own right. But I figured the cohesion would really draw them through this. Apparently not. I imagine Dezachu, once again, on the desk. He's blushing. He called it for CIS Hope, and it's not going to be a stomp, at least. He's
blushing, a little tear in his eye. But we are going on to the second map. I mean, it can all change from here, right? Numbani is going to be the hybrid map of choice from CIS Hope. So we'll be heading to that one next up. Now, we've seen CIS Hope before run the triple tank on the defense, specifically Kenzie on his Roadhog. That's what really sticks in my mind, just shutting down these Pharahs in the air. Yeah,
Kenzie's Roadhog has had quite a few very impressive showings. Even on Ilios Ruins is what I most remember it from. He managed to shut down many people there and really managed to control high grounds, which is something that you don't often see from Roadhogs, the control of high ground. You often see them more like on the point brawling. However, Kenzie, a little bit of a different approach, likes to come in from above. Like when pigs fly, you'll see Kenzie bring out a very impressive Roadhog.
All I remember from him is just him not using hook until a Pharah would come down and then barrage. And then it's like, oh, guess what? I have hook, by the way.
Yeah, that also happened on a couple of other teams as well. Some very good patience we've seen from Roadhogs, but Kenzie is leading it. Very effective hooks there. However, what I did notice on the side of Sanctum when we were watching Nepal, it did look like when CIS Hope were playing these sort of Winston Diva strategies, they were consistently out-diving Mosaic eSports. Even though they were playing with unfixed on the soldiers, it wasn't a full dive, but they managed to play around their tank line a lot better. Whereas Christopher, he was making some questionable dives using his shield early, diving in with about half health when he had a Discord orb, and I think that may just show a little bit of Discord in communications as well when it comes to the dives. However, they can play to their strengths if need be. They can play a triple tank.
Could very well be. Mosaic switching up for the Sombra this time, and actually it's something we talked about at the very start of the day. Spox's previous team, Young and Beautiful, he was a very, very good Sombra player, and not too much of a surprise to see it here. It can shut down many of these compositions that run the Pharah. We've all seen the clip, we've all seen it. You jump the Translocator up in the air, you hack the Pharah in mid-air, and she sinks like a rock, just like that.
And now the Diva's going to be descending upon Unfix. Unfix is going to have a very bad time here. However, the rest of CIS Hope are already on the point. They've claimed a tick.
They have, yeah. I mean, they need to engage at some point. Christopher's going to be on there and manages to find a D-Mech on Chow. Although right now, Kenzie's just a rule in the roost at the moment. He's going to find a back whack on Danny as well. They've acquired 2 ticks already. Christopher jumps straight in, headbutts the floor, slides away, and he's going to go down. Also, Spox's Sombra didn't even get off the ground, it seems. He hacked the Pharah. He's almost got 80% on his ultimate charge already, but that was an incredibly fast and decisive push from Hope.
Christopher sticking the landing, and Unfixed, he is on fire. He managed to get quite a bit done despite how many threats were coming towards him. We do see that Spox is almost up towards that EMP, and Mono's already fallen. Look how far forward CIS Hope is. They don't want to give away any space for free.
We've seen this actually before, but we've only seen one person on the car, and it just rolled back on them because they were very unable to actually do much else. They pushed up so far, they staggered them a little bit, and then they got staggered themselves, and the whole entire enemy team just re-engaged and forced them back around this corner. Not when you've got 2 people on the car. It gains so much more ground. They're going to end this first corner here.
Absolutely. Now, maybe if they can win one fight, they may be able to claim second itself. Eng is going to be Discord. He's on the car. He's ducking, dipping, diving, and dodging, but there's the EMP.
With a big EMP. Eng is just going to have to run for the hills, and Fish is going to open up with a tactical visor. That pulse bomb on the side of the truck managed to kill Mono and Fisher. He's finished off Spox's as well. That EMP was beautiful, but Kenzie just made it a masterpiece.
Don't not buy a ticket for the bus, ladies and gentlemen. It will evict you by force. And Kenzie's quite the enforcer for such policies. And now it's a wholesale swap up from the side of Mosaic eSports. Both of the DPS abandoned. Going to be a reset in Ultimate Economy now, as Fisher and Spox's move over to the Tracer and Genji respectively. And like we said, only one fight was required on the second point of Numbani to bring it through. Now, that's quite a time bank, Jaws. That's 5 minutes and 45 seconds available for CIS Hope to try and push this one through. I wonder why they picked Numbani.
Oh, almost 6 minutes. This is kind of insane, I'm going to be honest with you. Both Valkyries have been popped by either Mercy. Still, Kodak holding onto that Transcendence. They're going to be able to find Spox's first. Eng has that sound barrier if they want to re-engage after the Valkyrie ends up falling over. They are going to push in very, very gradually here as they wait for the Valkyries to wear off. You can just hear them now. There, Barrier used, Transcendence used by the other side. Kenzie has got that pulse bomb in hand. He's ready to let it go. He finds the stick. Mono flies to his death, and then Unfix just unleashes the visor. Kodak's falls. Fisher's going to follow him as well. Danny gets demeched, and CIS Hope, you can see how much demolition they're doing, and Kenzie's on a 15 streak.
And more importantly, Sharek and Chow have both the tank ultimates available, one at one door, one at another. It's going to be all about Sharek and the Primal Rage trying to shut down the methods of Ingress. Can Mosaic eSports break the blockade?
And they've still got 5 minutes to work with as well. Kenzie finds himself on the back line again. He's almost got another pulse bomb. Kodak did not stand a chance in that engagement. They're going to jump straight on to the Lucio, at least try and chunk him down a little bit before the rest of the team engages. Unfix dies to a pulse bomb, and Kenzie working towards his. There's the self-destruct. Shouldn't quite find anybody. Everybody backed off in the end. Sharek comes in. Goomba stomps. Danny, you're out of the fight, son. Main will end up falling, so that's a big lot of healing now down for CIS Hope. They might want to just reconvene at this point. Christopher is going to fall as well, but Kenzie hunting, searching, throws the pulse bomb out onto the floor and finds Mono. There's the blade, does end up getting to the back line. Unfix could not run away in time. Spoxes finds two, and it might have just stabilized this fight.
Yes, they're pretty okay with this. They got Spoxes to bring out the blade, and now Chow may well be staggered, going to go and throw himself off the edge. Spoxes may actually be swapping here. I wouldn't be surprised if he went over to a soldier in order to take advantage of a long sightline through which CIS Hope must move.
I don't know if he might be changing and just giving a little bit of heal percentage there to Mono and Kodak, but no, it does look like he's actually staying on the pick. Unfix was making good use of that, but, you know, Spox says with the Dragon Blade, with the dash, it's very easy to close that gap.
And Unfix being picked the first there was really crucial for Mosaic. Means they could finally win out on that attrition, and they didn't have to worry about the long sightline through which Unfix would lay down so much damage. But now they're coming through from a different method. They're coming around the side with that mega health pack, making sure that any early poke would be healed up in good time. And now they've got to get onto the cart, make sure it's not going to move any further back.
Still a lot of time to work with. However, 2 minutes have already disappeared. So Kenzie yet again left completely alone on the sidelines. You can see how much havoc he's actually causing to the backline. Fisher finds Unfix yet again, but it's going to get res because none of Mosaic could assault that Mercy when she was just rezzing behind the corner. Very, very good positioning from Kenzie. He's like a one-man wrecking ball at the moment, just separating the rest of the team. However, Main ends up going down as he's left high and dry and isolated at the back lines. Unfix unleashed the tactical visor, but Fisher's already cleaned up the rest of the fight.
He may be a one-man wrecking ball, Jaws, but it appears to me from our view of Kenzie isn't really focusing the same thing that his tanks are. He appears to just have a vendetta against Spoxes, and the rest of the tanks aren't on that. So maybe CIS Hope needs to sort of clean up the comms here, get the target calling going. Maybe they got really excited because they had such a roll through of the first 2 points, but it just looks like the target calling's falling apart.
5 ultimates ready while Main's at 75%. He's working towards his. Shouldn't be too long until he has it available. Versus the Dragon Blade, we've got Primal Rage coming up as well. Kodak has that Transcendence. Oh, nice stick. Oh, did you see Christopher then try and give him a bit of a
cheeky punch?
Cheeky punch didn't quite work out for him. Kenzie ends up erasing him, and that'd be Chow actually getting desuited as well. Both Tracers are actually prioritizing kills and pulse bombs actually on the tanks more often than not. And Sharek in the backline is causing a lot of havoc. Spoxes goes down, and now Unfix can use those sightlines you were talking about just like that. Kodak falls to some missiles, and he's just going to be able to play back, although that Primal Rage is going to buy a lot of time.
I want to see Unfix take up onto the high ground here. You can see him trying to jump it around as he lays down these bullets, but now everyone's coming back in from spawn, and Spox going deep!
Spoxes goes for the blade, but instantly Main presses the Q, Transcendence onto the point. No one is going to go down to that blade right now. Chow finds out Spoxes in the back line, just couldn't do anything, and again Christopher going for this big re-engage, but he's already used his Primal Rage. Sharek cleans up Kodak. They should just be able to walk it in. Not quite in time. Danny very, very close to stalling that point out even further, but 3 points now on the board for CIS Hope.
I really did feel like on that attack the DPS got together with who they were calling out, Kenzie and Unfix focusing the same targets. I saw that Unfix managed to finish off with quite a few people who were on low health with a couple of stray shots or a Helix rocket here and there, including a really nice one under the cart onto Mono.
It's always frustrating when you get killed on the cut, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
you just don't notice, you don't look at your feet, right?
Click.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit him right in the skates.
Right, I want to touch on CIS Hope right now, because we've seen it before, and we might see it again. Aang actually played Defense Torbjorn on this map last week, so I'm really hoping we see that one more time here.
Question is, have Mosaic eSports had the time to try and figure out a strategy around that? Do you think, well, maybe did they think that Aang was going to bring it out again? It was eventually defeated on defense, but not until after quite a while. A couple of clutch plays from the Torbjorn on that defense, and Kenzie's just going to everyone gonna show around Doomfist?
Everybody tries to debate people like that, but it never really works.
Mental warfare, George.
It is, but Mosaic just clearly steal minds, right? It's like, well, they are going to play it, thank God. We're going to see Eng on the Torbjorn. Oh, yes. See that? His ultimate builds up really fast, like incredibly quickly if you leave that turret undisturbed. But only having one healer on this map and it being main on this Mercy, she's going to want to be able to pocket Unfixed a fair amount of the time, leaving some of the other members of CIS Hope high and dry.
Yeah, main's going to have to really leave Unfixed to fend for himself sometimes if the rest of CIS Hope are going to have any chance of surviving. Sharik and Xiao here are going to have to play very much around health packs. I wonder if we're going to see from retreat past that bridge what we currently see Eng and Unfixed on to pick up the mega health pack back there. But crucially, something I want to touch on is that CIS Hope, they finished with more than a minute remaining. So if Mosaic eSports finish this map in overtime, they don't get a second attack.
Well, here we go. Are they going to be able to spot out that Torbjorn? Like I said, that Molten Core builds up incredibly quickly. Maybe they're going to go for a complete reset here. Maybe someone's switching, actually. Okay, Spoxes is switching onto the Fire. You'll see Mosaic just pull back ever so slightly, and Kodak's going to flip over to the Mercy. And
you can see now Eng has decided no longer wants his turret to be in the open. He wants it to have a clear sight line of the point instead. He doesn't want Spoxes to be able to lay down those rockets from long range. And here comes a dive from Christopher, not deciding to use his jump just yet. They're
very
all over
deep
the
dive. It's like they knew Eng was going to place his turret right there, and then he's actually going to fall really quickly as well. And this is the problem. You've only got one healer right now, although so do Mosaic, as Kodak ends up falling to Xiao.
And that was really interesting there. Mosaic eSports, they opted not to use any of their movement cooldowns except for Mono's speed boost when they went onto the turret the first time, because they knew they'd be able to heal where Eng was setting up the next one and then use their movement cooldowns to get in onto him.
They're still stuck up on this Torbjorn pick. He hasn't actually switched off, and they're already on the point. Mosaic are going to find a tick in a couple of seconds if they do leave it. There we go. A tick has been acquired already, so already progress on the meter. That Torbjorn turret has been set up again. It's going to get dove by Fisher and his monkey counterpart and get taken down. It's clearly telegraphed that this Torbjorn might not work out for CIS Hope. He's 70% towards his Molten Core, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They've already acquired 2 ticks. They're going to have a heck of a re-engage in order to secure the point.
Unfixed going to come through from above. He's got the barrage, but he needs Xiao to be able to lay down the defense matrix on to keep him safe as he does so.
Well, he's still looking for that way into the fight. Christopher just trying to take out Eng, but Eng not having any of it. Switching over to the Lucio now to get everybody back to the point on time. Beautiful body rocket actually there from Spox. Does find Unfix in the air, but cannot quite find the second one. Has Barrage still available. CIS Hope regain the control of the point. Xiao did manage to take out the Pharmacy duo, and Kenzie finishes off Fisher.
That was once again another testament to the CIS Hope, just how good their target calling can be when they really concentrate on it, coming in undermanned and really making sure they were all on the same target. From there, they managed to snowball it, because of course, Numbani, it's equidistant in terms of the spawns, pretty much. You can get back just as fast a defender as you can an attacker. It's unique in that way across first points.
Their mind is like a fortress. They are undeterred. They're going to go for the high dive onto Xiao. Although Spox is looking for a way into the fight. You can see he's very paying attention to Xiao's defense matrix. It gets sent sky high. The self-destruct might not find anybody. Only actually tickles a little bit of Spox's health bar. Can he come with the pulse bomb? It doesn't get quite eaten. In fact, I was ready to call it there and there, but it actually finds Danny's mech instead. Xiao takes out Spox's, and now Unfix is kind of free to do what he likes. No one ready to contest him, and Danny will end up resetting himself.
And 1 minute and 11 seconds is all that remains here for Mosaic eSports as they move into their final attack. Maybe 2 if Mono can get some nice speed boost going on. Spox is probably going to be all about him as they come in with that. Oh, Fisher staggered late. That's yeah, they've got 1 attack left, Jaws.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate death, like you mentioned. Normally, you can get attacks in with Lucio's 1 every 30 seconds or so due to the speed boost, but not this time around. It's going to be 1 left to go because they had to wait for Fisher's respawn. Still, Farah's holding those ultimates, being very patient.
And now, Unfix is looking for his target. If he can put this down on Christopher, that would be great, but he needs to be mindful. Spoxes can take him out really quickly while he's getting that barrage. That's easy rockets onto a stationary target.
Oh, he got Mono actually around the corner, and Kenzie finds Fisher already. Valkyrie being used here by CIS Hope, and that will be a big stomp onto Christopher's head. This is a very just clean and easy fight. This was just vanilla Overwatch apart from main using that Valkyrie. They've got 13 seconds remaining. They need to touch.
We may see Unfix go forward here if he wants to try and take a little bit of a more precarious barrage. He's got Xiao at his back to soak him in that defense matrix while it's going on. Danny's going to be the first one out. He wants to keep track of that defense matrix as well because it can eat up so much damage.
Contested. Overtime is in effect. Unfix almost falls, but he's going going to get kept alive by Main, still holding on to those offensive ultimates. The sound barrier has been dropped by CIS Hope as well. Spoxes, he finally finds Chow open and enough to actually take him out, or at least try to, but Unfixed finds the stationary fire into the air and takes her out, gets rezzed up, but Mercy's pretty stationary herself, still Unfixed with the ultimate. It's only Spoxes left, and his Diva partner, Danny, ejected, deleted, overtime ticks through, and CIS Hope will find the win on Numbani.
No victory fireworks from Unfixed, but I'm sure he's got a nice smile on his face over in the CIS Hope camp, drawing up here as we head into half-time.
That was an incredible game of mental fortitude by both teams. Holding the fire ults for that long is no mean feat.
Who's going to break first? And that's one of the most important things about the Pharah duels, because Pharah's probably the best person to take out another Pharah while they're barraging with those straight-line projectiles that deal so much damage and can kill you in 2 hits. And you're not going to be able to evade them while you're barraging, so it's like, who's going to draw their card first? And eventually it just came down to Spox is getting too desperate to take out both Sharek and Chow, who were being menaces up on the high ground.
Yeah, he pummeled a lot of damage into the tanky front line, but Chow was just too good at flicking around and actually deleting a lot of those rockets with his defense matrix. We're going to jump to a 30-second break, guys. We'll be right back. Well, the analysts will be right back to break down those games even further.